5 minutes before 7 here on Morning Live. Strong reactions over the weekend following the announcement last Thursday that Janusz Walus, the man convicted for the murder of South African Communist Party or SACP leader Chris Hani, will be released with one headline poster reading, "You can free apartheid killers, but you cannot force victims to forgive." The SACP has also come out saying it firmly supports the call for an appeal against an extremely controversial and highly compromised judgment. Walus shot and killed Hani in the driveway of his Dawn Park Boksburg home on the 10th of April 1993. From the SACP, we are joined by Jacob Mamabolo, who is the Gauteng Provincial Secretary. Jacob, thanks so much for being with us here on the program.
Good morning and thanks very much.
There are those who believe that Janusz Walus has paid his dues. Do you think this is a fair train of thought?
Certainly not. As the South African Communist Party, we firmly and strongly believe that for as long as there are still many questions that have not been answered about the full circumstances and conditions under which one of the most certainly popular leaders of our country, Comrade Chris Hani, was killed. That as long as that matter has not been settled and clarified, full disclosure, certainly the murderers of Chris Hani have not paid their due, have not actually served their sentence to the point that we could all be satisfied that they've paid the heavy price for the heinous crime that they've committed.
Yeah. Do you think that in a way, I know when we spoke last week to the SACP, one of the big things that came out was that there's no sense or feeling that Janusz Walus shows any remorse whatsoever. Do you feel the same way?
In actual fact, the issue about the lack of remorse on the part of the murderers, it's a matter that was made by the courts, and in this particular case, in the appeal against the sentence and, of course, the conviction, the judge did make the point that they didn't show remorse at all. And you can even see now that the fact that they can't tell the full story of what exactly happened, and there are a number of questions that we still need answers to, clearly point out to the fact that they still don't think that they've done anything wrong. I have an opportunity to read some of the remarks made by Ms. Clive Debbie Lewis, who was also a co-conspirator in the matter. And you can clearly see that they still don't think that they've done anything wrong, that they should be coming out very clear on what exactly happened.
Yeah. There were some weekend reports saying that Mr. Hani's daughter Lindy actually wants to meet Janusz in prison. I mean, what are your thoughts on something like this?
Well, as the SACP, certainly we work very closely with the family. In particular, we do engage on a number of occasions with Comrade Hani. But on this particular case, I guess everybody will agree with us that this is a matter that fairly within the purview of the family. The family is within its right to be able to deal with the matter, and we will take guidance from how the family deal with the issue. The daughter of Comrade Chris Hani herself has reached the age of maturity, and therefore should be able to make appropriate decisions on the matter. We will be guided by the family as to how do they proceed with the issue.
Yeah, perhaps it's answers she'll be asking for. Perhaps she'll sit in front of him and say, "We need some clarity. Please tell us what actually happened." I mean, perhaps these are the kind of things that the family want, is that, you have a judge telling you to move on when you've never actually ever heard the truth. It's very difficult as a family to move on. And perhaps they're seeking those answers in order to move on.
You're absolutely right. Obviously, all of us will be looking forward to, if finally the family takes the decision to engage with Janusz Walus, we'll all be interested in what comes out of that.
Indeed.
Because you're absolutely right. The decision that was made by the judge in this particular parole case is very strange, in the sense that you can't disconnect the fact that in order for us to move forward, forgive and forget, as the judge seems to suggest, that the only basis on which you can do that is to get the truth, nothing but absolutely the truth. And for as long as we don't have the truth, we will continue to encounter problems moving forward because the past will definitely pull us back and say there are outstanding issues. And perhaps Janusz Walus this time will tell the truth, but I doubt. Reason being that, remember one of the things that Clive W. Lewis has been saying consistently in many of his interactions with some of the people that were involved is that he's quite sure Janusz Walus will never speak. This is a matter that he has said very repeatedly, that he's definitely sure Janusz Walus will never speak, will never compromise anyone, will never disclose information beyond what he has said in the TRC, in court, and so on and so on. So we still doubt whether at this point Janusz Walus will actually come out and answer the number of questions that we have, amongst them which is who were they working with. This was certainly not an easy operation. It was planned over time. Was it an act of just two men? Were there other people? If you look at the surveillance around the house, there was a list initially of about 19 people, reduced to 9, and then it was reordered. This entire plot and conspiracy tells you that there's no way that it could just be the act of just two men. So that is why we still have many questions. Why did they need to use some of the most advanced and sophisticated ammunition? How did they get the details of the houses of the different people that were on the list and all that? So we still have got many questions. I've just mentioned a few, but what we need is Janusz Walus, and it's also in his best interest to tell the truth so that he doesn't continue to be trapped in the fact that he still has things that he has not disclosed.
Right. Unfortunately, Jacob, we have to leave it there, but I do know that there's a march taking place today. ANC in Ekurhuleni, Gauteng, marching to the Constitutional Court. Not sure if you're involved in it? Will you be a part of it?
We work as an alliance.
And you
we are fully aware of the march, and members of the party will participate in the march. And there are still going to be other activities to come just for us to express ourselves quite strongly on the matter. Let's
leave it there. Jacob, thank you. Thank you very much for talking to us here on the program. Jacob Mamabolo is the Gauteng Provincial Secretary for the SACP. Again, talking to us about Chris Hani, the murder thereof, and Janusz Walus now up for parole in less than 2 weeks' time. Let's take a break.